Hello everyone and welcome to another FX Delta weekly video. Starting with the Euro Yen, the first one, we're going to go by day here. Actually, the last one is Euro Yen. This is the combination of the 15-minute chart along with the 4-hour chart bullish delta pattern. One of the new introductions here is the bullish divergence rating indicator, and in this case, as you can see, we have 2 stars, which means the volatility is more or less good. We can also see that we already had first divergence there, and now this is the second one. Basically, price broke below, creating second false break, and we're reaching this previous swing low. Well, swing low, of course, when we speak about the 15-minute chart. What else we can mention here is that quality is A, which is good, range is fine, and of course the 50% of the 4-hour chart move has been reached and false broken right there. So that's basically the idea behind this trade. Target 1 collected, second target, remaining part of the trade was closed in break even. Then what we can do here is we can go back to the live chart and try to figure out how things looked on the higher time frames, and at that stage we can see that the 4-hour chart bullish delta pattern fits perfectly with the daily bullish pattern here. Okay, so this is pretty much the same thing. Of course, as we're sitting on the 4-hour chart, we're going to get the information of the daily. That's why we see daily here. But anyway, as we said, the 50% was right there, so I can remove that already. This is the line that marks pretty much where the entry happened. And what I'm looking for in these situations is this. So as we can see here, there is no divergence against it. The move up looks pretty decent, and if and when we're attacking, we would like to see a decent supportive or resistance levels on the spot. So even though, as you can see right here, even though the price continued higher in the overall trend, because this was supposed to be a pullback and continuation, the pullback was deeper. We got almost near the bottom. We never actually crossed it, but if you attack the right spot and the setup is decent enough, you can still make some money out of it. And that's the beauty of Delta. Okay, this is what we're trying to achieve in the Telegram groups. This is what we're trying to achieve every single day. All right, so not the best one. The price moved lower, but still we managed to catch some pips there. Then we have QEN, which was a sell. This trade lost. It pushed higher almost immediately after 1-2 candles there. But let's go back to the actual entry. So what we can see here, guys, quality of type A. This is also second divergence right here, and then we have this one. The divergence indicator is showing again 2 stars, which means the volatility is good. We are not stuck in some flat moves, right? Especially when it comes to the lower time frames, we want to make sure there is volatility. In that case, this is pretty clear, but still we have the indicator to help us. Next, we can see that we had this previous high right there, multiple candles. Now focus on this part. So we're basically spiking through it, and then we have multiple candles and spikes above. This is where the price is hesitant, and it's clearly not able to continue and gain the momentum to continue. And that's why the expectation is that we can be looking at the move down. Another reason for this attack here could be if we go ahead and split this move into a triple cycle. Okay, in my opinion it will not fit into Elliott waves rules, but in terms of cycles it would be a good fit. And then if we have the divergence, the least we can expect is pullback before further continuation up, but it anyway pushed higher. Now I would like to go ahead and check out the higher time frame. So this is QEN on the 19th, and I try to mark these lines so we don't look for them, but this is what we're dealing with here, guys. This is the one. So as we can see, the price managed to push lower afterwards. The idea was correct. As the indicator suggested, type A of delta pattern, hidden divergence developed later on. And basically that was a pretty decent setup. I'm talking about the 4-hour chart, right? Even though on the on the 15-minute chart, it kind of realized a loss there. Let's cover a few more. We have dollar yen for a buy, and this one is a bit trickier, but still we do have a zone where the price stopped, so we can say that we have some sort of consolidation, immediate push to the downside, consolidation, and then one more down. Now if you take a look from the very top of this place down to here, we kind of have straight moves to the downside, okay, and clearly we have a nice momentum. So we're more or less going into some sort of extreme inside this place, so sooner or later this thing is supposed to give us pullbacks. And since we're using MAS divergences, which are much more reliable than the histogram divergences, plus on the 4-hour chart we do have the delta pattern, things start to look good. In terms of price action, I don't love it. In terms of volatility, I do love it. Okay, and this is right there to help us. 61.8 couldn't stop the price, and once you see that, my suggestion would be to go ahead and look for scalps, guys. Okay, we're clearly going deeper in terms of the correction. Maybe even the price is reversing, so if you're going to still attack according to the delta pattern, go ahead and look for scalps. And this is what I'm talking about, just a few pips, quick in and out. All right, so let's see what do we have on the higher time frames. Dollar and 4-hour chart plus 15-minute chart. First of all, the delta pattern got invalidated right there, that's why we don't see it anymore, right? And then the price started pushing upwards. We're interested in this one because this is approximately where we got the entry on the lower time frame. So as we can see, immediately the drop down, one leg, happened very fast. We do, however, have bullish pressure coming from this potential bullish hidden divergence, and most of all, I do care about the levels. In this case, 10.0565, this is actually where the entry was, but let's focus for a second on this part which I marked with this one. Look at this density of candles. This is clearly a zone where the price is likely going to react and provide at least a few pips bounce, okay, starting from here down to here somewhere. So anywhere inside that zone, I would be looking for buys on the lower time frames, and this is exactly what we did on the 15-minute chart. And as you saw, this is a scalp. Of course, none of the trades that we showed so far during these summer market conditions are swing trades, long-term trades. They're just scalps on the 15-minute chart, and I think this is a good call because, as we can see, the market is giving us the science that these trades are probably best traded this way, because if they weren't, you can see what's happening afterwards. That would be turning into a loss. Okay, that's why we have the software which works with multiple targets. You just set your targets there and leave it, and it will be taken care of. Okay, but once you start recognizing all these things in terms of warning signs, let's call them, your trading will be improving much better. All right, let's see the next one. That was dollar yen. Here then we have Kiwi dollar, 4-hour chart combination with daily chart. This time the quality is B, which means we should be paying a lot of attention to the higher time frame, delta pattern here, right? So let's check out Kiwi dollar. This is where the trade happened, and we should switch to the daily time frame and look what's happening. So we have first divergence, and then we would be having divergence here as well, which the indicator is not catching, but we can see it clearly with our eyes. So please guys, when you're trading, have a look at these filters. That's why we have them on the chart, to remind us to check out the higher time frames, in this case the daily time frame. And if you remember the rules, if we have divergence against, best would be to go ahead and check out on this same time frame whether we have hidden divergence or not. On this part definitely we do have it, from the most recent part, right? And from this part we have it on the last candle, let's say, right here. So all these small things might appear as they are not as important as you might think, but in reality this could be the difference between making profit and actually losing money. Okay, because in these cases you will be waiting. It's really simple. I mean, just following for the good levels. We know what to do with the higher time frame delta patterns, what to follow up on. Then we have this false break here, this divergence, the level as mentioned at the very bottom, and spike up. Even though it continued lower, we are making money there. And this is what we need. We need to pinpoint the precise moment when to start the attack in order to get some money out of the market. We will almost never be able to catch the absolute top or the absolute bottom and trade the entire move. So buy here, exit here, right? It's almost impossible. Maybe some people are doing it. Well done if they do and if they exist, but in reality we just need a small piece of the big pie in order to make good profits. Okay, so controlling the risk, looking at the levels, following on all these smaller things, and we have a good one. Now this trade overall is aggressive, guys, because the divergence which we're working with in the breakout later on is 1 star, and this is indeed not a very huge move. However, this is a 4-hour chart, so it's absolutely acceptable. And the second thing for me here is this one. This is the actual waving of this bearish structure here. So yes, the software is catching it on the very last part, but in reality the divergence, in my opinion, is right there. And that, in my opinion, is not lacking volatility at all. Okay, we're just using this breakout right here on the lower time frame. That's all. That's about this trade, Kiwi Eurocat. Let's check one more and I guess we can call it a day. 1 hour chart in combination of the daily chart. Okay, quality A of the delta. We can see where the delta is stopping here. Then we got the pullback. This is a big nice double wave on its own. Each of the legs are split into structures of their own as well, and we have divergence number 1, divergence number 2. This is a beautiful false break, 50% right there, false breaking as well. 2 out of 3 stars. I think this is totally acceptable, at least on the 1 hour chart when we're looking at it, totally acceptable for an entry. But let's see what do we have on the higher time frames. And on the higher time frame, the situation is a bit trickier. Now, if we take a look at the bigger structure, that could be push up, kind of a double top, and then we're visiting the bottom. Okay, but once again, if we pick the right spot to attack, we can be taking advantage of this pullback to the upside. Now let's go back to why the trade was taken. Now this is of course one of the 2 options, but if we take a look purely on the delta pattern, which is the second part, there will be no divergences right here. On this part we have no divergences against. We actually have momentum, the price is pushing forward, and the second option or the first option, depending on how you look at it, was to see something like that and immediate continuation up, which would be this kind of scenario. So basically we're creating the double wave right here, and the waving starts on this part. So if you isolate it and you look at it like this, then you have potential hidden divergence, then you don't have anything against, and you also have a very good supportive zone right here. Again, how do I pick my levels? I just look for the highest density of candles, meaning highs, lows, opens and closes to be at the same point. Okay, like this one for example, like this one right here also, pretty good. So this is a big level, but then we can split it into smaller zones on top of that, and one of those zones is where the entry is happening. Okay, so let's leave it up to here, guys. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment below and it will be answered as soon as possible. That would be all for now. Have a good one.